How is everybody doing today? My name is Master Zero and welcome back to another reaction video. This time we're reacting to I Found Out I Have ADHD by JaidenAnimations. Alright, so I'm really excited to dive back into JaidenAnimations stuff, and like it's gonna be really weird, but like it's her personal life, you know? Like every time like she does a really personal video, like the Nisuki one, not Nisuki, the Miku one, and then the what's it called, where she discovers her sexuality, like those are some of my favorite ones because they're just really enjoyable, you know? We kind of like get her literally her own personal like aspects of it, you know, which kind of like you could argue with like that's literally all of her videos, but like there's something special about her actually like opening up with stuff, you know? Like this is, I'm assuming it should be no different, you know? And like I've always been like kind of on the fence of if I have ADHD or not. I even have like some people in the comments, especially my shorts, like telling me that I have ADHD, and I'm like, all right, I probably do. I don't know. I've never been to the doctor to discover it, you know? So like we might discover it together. So I'm really excited to get this going. So without any further ado, here is I Found Out I Have ADHD.
Do you ever think to yourself, man, why is it so hard for me to just do the things I need to do?
Okay,
and focus,
always.
and remember things, and manage my time, and be organized, and remember things,
Oh,
and not get sidetracked.
Is that fidget spinner?
Yeah,
I heard.
When I was a kid, I was pretty much the picture-perfect depiction of a good student.
Is that a true story, by the way, Jane?
Organized, always turned in my work on time, got good grades. I even did my homework on Fridays instead of procrastinating until Sunday night.
I never did that.
Like studying and found it hard to focus during it. But who did? Saying all those qualities put together,
Smiling
that
Friends
doesn't
animation
sound like the brain of someone with any kind of attention deficit hyperactivity.
It honestly doesn't.
Does it? I was well behaved, didn't feel like I struggled much in school, and didn't cause any trouble.
Little sailor hat and everything.
That is up until I moved out of my parents' house for the first time to go to college. Gradually, I started slipping. I began
me too.
skipping
My first time was
classes a bit
terrible.
when I just
got locked out of my own apartment.
Would wait until the last moment to start classwork, and lost a lot of motivation because I wasn't interested in any of my schoolwork.
That sounds like a lot of stuff I was.
Even though it was pretty out of character for me,
I
went through. It all up to the fact I was simply over going to school.
You should
At the
check
same
on her.
time, my YouTube was really kicking off, and all I wanted to do was that. Of course, I wasn't going to be as good of a
student way more
when
fun.
The silly YouTube videos were doing numbers. I finished a single year of college and convinced my parents to let me take a gap year to see where this YouTube thing can take me. Spoiler alert, the gap year turned into me never going back. I'm a college dropout. So
let's go.
Great, I've eliminated the boring school part of my life.
A lot of things in common with YouTubers I've noticed.
Now I can
just
go back
drop out
to
of college
being
apparently.
Organized with my new exciting passion job.
Let's go.
Which entails being my own boss and having to manage and assign myself all of my own responsibilities 24/7.
I hate that.
Quiet. The voice is not getting quieter. It's almost like everything was going backwards. I was
listen to
having
podcasts, watch
time
YouTube videos.
Staying organized and focused.
No more
if I
voices.
didn't want to do a certain type of work, I would have to shackle myself down in basically an isolation.
I did find out if you
to
just do it, man, that's the best way. Hey, a lot of me
I could think about. And why is it so easy to suddenly be on your roof watching a YouTube video on
how'd you get on your roof?
New shingles? I really didn't get it. Child me had it held together more than
not how, but why?
What went wrong? I could look back and recognize how everything used to be so perfect and easy. Look at tiny Jaiden and all her ducks in that row. I used to
ducks are in a row.
every single binder I
so
owned,
adorable.
and now I don't even know where I placed the 20 bucks I literally just had in my hand 3 minutes ago. I haven't even left the room. Genuinely,
my
where
controller
could it
is that
go?
big
Despite
time.
feeling like I was downward spiraling
I may
for
have found
multiple years, I never suspected it could be something related to a genetic neurodevelopmental disorder. I just thought I wasn't trying hard enough.
Do you have ADHD?
Or applying myself like I used to.
To me, I'm like,
the woes of turning into an adult.
Not gonna find out, I guess.
Maybe the best years of your life truly are in high school. How upsetting. I didn't even enjoy those either. But then one day I got a text from my brother.
Big oof.
I got diagnosed with ADHD.
Oh. Actually have
it was a pretty big surprise for me because growing up he never really seemed to show any of the typical symptoms you associate
spying
with
on
ADHD.
your brother. I love it.
You know, people would always describe ADHD to me as super hyper kids who would run around the room and scream and generally be a lot. That wasn't my brother. He was quiet and well behaved like I was. But when he started explaining
took the words right out of my mouth.
The gears started turning.
Let me hear them. Maybe they'll help me.
I always struggled a lot with focusing in school and having things hold my attention when it's boring.
I love the subjects.
But like I could hypervigilate hyperfixate on things I'm interested in and get really passionate about that
Let's
stuff.
go.
Hearing him talk about his
100%.
personal symptoms of ADHD made a lot of sense, and I felt very freshly educated on the topic.
Let's go.
And
Education juice. Why'd you put it in juice
form?
form?
Looking into getting a diagnosis for myself, because if you were paying attention, my brother's experiences all sounded very similar to the same struggles I've been having in my own life, but related to work instead of school, because I dropped out. But nope, I was just like, good for you, bro.
Because of her situation?
Or I'm sorry, I don't know. Anyway, back to struggling
to
simply open up my drawing program as if
2
blocks of iron were welded to my wrists. Imbalance of brain chemicals?
I must.
Nah, this just happens from time to time. It's normal. Just the laziness
Rock,
kicking in.
Blast off
I
again?
hate Mondays, am I right? Even though I
How many
didn't
personas
instantly
are
think
there?
was a possibility of me also having ADHD, the mental seed was planted. It's genetic, so I knew subconsciously it ran in the bloodline. It took a few years after my brother was diagnosed for me to really sit down with myself and consider that I too could have ADHD.
Another persona.
Shocking revelation.
Big ol' red check on that one.
Foreshadowing. Where did you come from? Things in the focus and productivity department
Literally
were
the
just
title.
getting worse and worse. I had the attention span
What
of a
waters you have,
cartoon
by the way?
dog, would completely forget things as soon as they entered my head, would hyperfixate on
Like my
random
controller.
stuff like an addict, and there was constant civil war happening inside
constantly.
my head to get one thing done, even though I knew it would only take like 15 minutes.
Honestly.
You don't understand. It
Make
feels
yourself
like
do it, though.
physical torture
Maybe I
to
don't
make
have ADHD.
myself sit down and lip sync a simple scene, like most of the
I
time.
understand.
You know, the thing I've been doing for 10 years at this point and am definitely used to doing.
Impressive.
And yeah, once I've gotten going, then
Let's
I'm
go.
honed in and you have to pry me away from it with a crowbar. I'm aware of that part. But
starting is hard.
I'm still gonna scrap with myself to plant my ass in that chair because I don't even know why at this point. The biggest thing
It's like me trying to play a game, you know? It's like, just start it.
I'm
like,
ADHD has always been the simple memory of being in school and having my shit together. I know what it feels like to be on top of things and to be organized.
See, I don't think I've ever had that experience.
The palm of my
Always
little
kind of
child
been
hand.
how
I
I've
just
been.
needed to summon it again with a bit more effort. But a light switch
Don't steal your own
in
ducks.
my brain, and suddenly I'm just not capable of the things I used to be.
Basic
and
human
it feels
function.
pathetic. Simple tasks are such a mental burden. It feels like I'm out of control but can't do anything about it.
Kind of depressing.
So finally, I figured I would try and get myself diagnosed. What did I have to lose? If anything, they just
Honestly,
tell me, no, you don't have ADHD. Try a little
literally
harder and
the worst
stop
they could say is
complaining.
no.
And yes, of course it took me like 8 months after deciding to get diagnosed to schedule the actual
I just don't want to
appointment.
go to the
What
doctor.
did you expect? That's like the first checkmark box on the ADHD list. I
Yeah.
started seeing a psychologist and he would ask the typical, do you
Worst
have
problem,
a hard time
realize you have a
focusing?
problem.
And I'd go, yeah, like this one time yesterday, and then he writes something down as I continue rambling on this
Blah, blah,
hyper-specific
blah.
example way too long
Like
for a
Charlie Brown with the
neurotypical person. I met with
parrots.
him
Wah,
for
wah,
a few
wah,
weeks,
wah, wah.
and then it came down to diagnosis day.
Oh,
The
organs.
nerves, man. I was so ready for him to say I'm a
was
normal
just like,
person who needs to suck it up. But instead, he was like, okay, so yeah, you definitely exhibit symptoms of someone with
definitely.
the inattentive type of ADHD.
Let's
And
go.
autism. Yippee!
What?
My struggles are justified. I'm not crazy. Wait, what was that last part? He explained all the different ways ADHD affects me and the different areas I struggle with compared to others. He even gave me a
butterflies?
37-page document of his
I'd rather not.
conclusions and information on how my
Wow.
brain works, with graphs and pictures. I've
Man
read
was
through
busy.
it all a bunch of times now, and it's already really helped me understand how I
Let's
tick.
go,
I
man.
call them the autism docs, but
Let's
I'm
go.
not gonna get into that side of the diagnosis. Let's just brush that one away for now. There's a couple types of
Just
ADHD
ADHD.
you can have.
That's the title.
Hyperactive,
Oh,
inattentive, and
nutty.
combined, which is both hyperactive and inattentive. Hyperactive is the
Sick
type
hybrid.
people typically go to when they think of a loud kid who can't sit still.
Okay.
People with this kind normally need to fidget, have low patience, tend to
I have
talk
Transformers
a
on my
lot,
desk
and have
to
trouble
fidget.
staying
I have Galvatron
seated,
on me right now.
especially when they're expected to, like in a meeting or school. Inattentive is the one where someone experiences difficulty in focus, memory,
Yes.
organization, has a low attention span.
100%.
That's the one I have. It's self-explanatory, but if you have the combined type of ADHD, then you got it all. ADHD jackpot right there, my friend.
Is that good or bad?
That I used to
kind of like with a brother, you know, it's like,
school
congratulations or I'm sorry.
ADHD symptoms, and how that part has always confused me. And he had a couple hypotheses about it. One, since my mom has always been a big source of my organizational influence, I was able to depend and lean on her for the majority of my school life for it. I felt like I was naturally capable of staying on top of things because she was right behind me the whole time, reminding me and guiding me through stuff.
Doc
so
knows
when I
what's
moved
up.
Out, everything started crumbling, which lines up pretty perfectly
that does make a lot of sense.
Start struggling. Another explanation he gave was the fact that ADHD affects women differently than men, which is also less researched. Love to hear that one. Not only do women tend to be able to
everything
mask
about
their
females
symptoms better than guys, so it goes much more unnoticed, but they also experience
honestly
ADHD
never knew that
differently. And research says there's a chance it can just start affecting women later in life. I'm no ADHD scientist though. That's just what I've been told by specialists.
Disclaimer.
I don't know. I've just got the
saving your own bacon.
Either way, those two explanations make
I just got
a
it,
lot
man.
of sense
I don't know
to me
the actual
and
like
have since
details.
put my weird ADHD imposter syndrome to rest. I didn't really think that getting a diagnosis would change much about how I go about my life, but since getting my ADHD certificate and lollipop, it's completely revolutionized how I think and go about getting things done. It's still hard to get my ass into gear when I need to do one normal thing that's not difficult, but I'm much less hard on myself and will strike almost like these kinds of mental deals to loophole myself into getting things done. Like, for example, if I really don't want to edit a video, I'll say to myself, okay, I know it's gonna be super hard for me to immediately start that task, so I'll get myself into the mindset of getting things done by doing a simple other task I don't find difficult, like cleaning my room. That way, I'll feel productive and can transition that into tackling the original task much easier. It doesn't always work, but it's the mindset change and overall understanding that sometimes I'm gonna have to go about things in different ways that's helped me a lot. Also, after being diagnosed with ADHD, I didn't have much desire to get medicated. I figured just knowing I have it would be enough to get things into gear, and I didn't really need medication that badly. But the content creator in me also thought, well, if I'm gonna write a script about having ADHD, it would be nice to be able to talk about what it's like to be medicated, even just for a day. So I got prescribed good old classic instant release Adderall. Instant release means I don't have to take it every day. I can just take it when I need to get stuff done.
That's
it
amazing.
affects me immediately and then wears off after a few hours. There's also extended release, which is the kind you take every day and gives you a constant, steady stream of medication.
I don't know about that one.
It wasn't until I had the Adderall in my hands when I realized the idea of taking it for the first time made me nervous. Like, what is this thing gonna do?
It's a drug.
I have
a thing with like pills. I don't really like it.
Honestly, a higher
caffeine
ratio
pills.
than
That's
friends
about it.
without it. That's how it goes in content creation. All these MFs have it. They were all telling me that it's awesome, how you'll take it and immediately feel like a god, and you can do anything.
I don't know about
that. And yeah, that sounds great, but also like, what
we
the
dare
hell?
not venture on that
I took
power.
This little pill and suddenly all of my problems seemingly disappear and I gain superpowers. That's scary.
It's like
that
literally
sounds like
Neo.
every adult in a 20-mile radius warned us about.
This is your brain on drugs.
Am I gonna feel like a completely different person? I don't know if I'm ready to experience immortality. I put off taking Adderall for so long because I was irrationally scared of the tiny blue pill, but coincidentally, I really needed to get a script done. If I take too long to write a video script, then the team runs out of work to do, and then I have a bunch of people sitting around and waiting for me to give them more work so they can pay their bills and survive and stuff. But for the freaking life of me, I just could not get myself to sit down and write that script. My body and soul found it mentally easier to backflip off a bridge than write words on the computer. After literally 2 months of my brain going, ooh, you better write that script. I won't let you enjoy a single moment of your life if you aren't writing that script.
You just refuse to write it.
I don't wanna. Get up, go to the bridge. After that constant loop, I finally swallowed my tears and took my first Adderall. I had talked to James a lot about what Adderall is like since he's been on it
Long time no see, man. On WhatsApp.
And after I took one, I was messaging him like, I did it. I ate an Adderall. How long does it normally take to start? How do I know? What do I do? And he was helping me a lot and giving me tips. Then, like 20 minutes later, I felt it. All the non-stop thoughts going on in my brain went silent. I could think clearly.
Really?
And in like a line. My mind wasn't racing a mile a minute. I was able to sit behind my laptop and write.
So zen.
It was incredible. I was messaging all my friends about it the entire time. I can write my script and not get distracted. I don't have to take a mental break every 10 minutes. I can remember things. Kelsey sent me a message and I thought, I'll check that in a bit. And I remembered to check it in a bit. And respond. When I opened the new tab to look something up, I didn't go down a random unrelated rabbit hole. I picked up my phone to check something.
That's honestly like beautiful though.
I can write words.
I cannot imagine
How
that
am
feeling.
I doing this?
Maybe
what do
I
you
need
mean I can feel like this whenever I want if I just eat the tiny blue pill? I refuse to believe regular people
I don't know about that side
like
effect
this
of it.
on a day-to-day basis.
Do you get affected? I'm pretty sure. I've heard of Adderall.
You guys don't have loud, non-stop voices in your heads preventing you from doing normal things? Come on, just admit it. You can't pick something up and immediately keep remembering what you were supposed to be doing with it. You always forget and feel crazy. Come on. Come on. I was so suspicious that on Adderall, either nothing would happen and I just wouldn't feel anything, or I would feel like I'm a totally different person experiencing some higher-than-life manic episode. But no, I just felt like myself, but with my shit together. And that's the part I couldn't believe. After 2 months of war, I finally was able to plant myself down and write my damn script. You wanna know what script I wrote while experiencing Adderall for the first time?
What is it?
This one. I was struggling to write a script about ADHD, and the thing that finally
kind of
pulled
ironic
it out
if
of
you think about it.
was Adderall. Come on, you gotta admit that's funny. Yeah, it was great. I didn't think my
Damn
head
near poetry.
was loud before, or I was that impulsive, or had that hard of a time focusing. But now that I've been able to peacefully sit in one spot for hours and not need to take a break or check social media or get distracted by some stupid
I do that sometimes. I just go outside and sit down. Close my eyes.
This changes things. I still can't believe what I was able to accomplish. Writing a script in 3 hours. Compared to my typical 12 hours. AKA one mediocre thing with no struggle at all. And you want to know what I did right after I wrote this script?
What'd you do?
I immediately got up and cleaned the birds' room.
Let's go.
Without rotting in bed for 3 hours beforehand. I just went from one task to another. Without thinking about it. All you neurotypical people must be thinking I'm literally pathetic and useless.
Nah, man,
but
like,
I know my ADHD
give credit where credit is due, most definitely.
Chairs right now hearing that. I'm not standing before you all to give you scientific data and information.
Yeah,
on
like everyone has like their own
diagnose
different
you, or
things going on, you know.
prescribed drugs.
Just because it worked for her doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna work for everybody.
In my life,
That's my disclaimer.
How much of an impact and effect it's had on me, and how awesome feeling normal is. Seriously, being able to take a deep breath in mental silence is incredible. Cherish that feeling if you don't have a neurodevelopmental disorder. It took me 26 years to realize my woes were not actually woes, but symptoms of brain chemical deficiency. I'm writing this video, all things considered, pretty recently after being diagnosed, and I'm still trying to learn how to rebuild my life in a way that lets me optimize my productivity and get things done at a normal level. But so far, I've come so much further than I thought I could simply by knowing what's going on up there in the
honestly, like shed some light, you know, knowledge is power and all that. And Adderall.
Being diagnosed with something,
I don't know about the drug part, like I really
don't. It's scary. It's scary to think you might have it, and it's also scary to think you might not have it. It's an odd place to be. But for me, having a concrete answer from a professional is what got me to finally stop feeling stuck in place and actually start moving forward.
Like I said,
again.
like during the doctor part, you know, like that doctor knew what he was up,
knew what was up, and find new ways to improve my day-to-day life. Cheers to getting normal shit done.
Oh yes.
In case you missed it, I have new merch. For a limited time, you can get yourself a new and improved Ari plush and a completely new soft Ari jacket. I love both of these products.
That would match my birds. Oh my god, no, like legitimately. I must collect all the birds.
Know how fluffy and pillowy the jacket is. Oh, it's like a cloud. Or how cuddly and friend-shaped the plush is.
I actually need that. You'll have no idea how much I need that bird.
To make animations for you. Check them out at JaidenAnimations.com.
I will.
Thanks for watching the video, and
thank you for making.
Simply existing to all my ADHD brethren out there. I'm right there with you. I believe one day you'll respond to that message in your inbox. Hang in there.
Hang in there. I refuse. Emails are the devil. Alright, so that was really, like, informative. I'm not gonna lie, like, I didn't think, like, I would use that word in a JaidenAnimation video, but here we are, you know? But, like, it was really cool nonetheless. Like, talking about ADHD, I know, like, ice cream sandwich and everybody talks about it, you know? So, like she was talking about, pretty much every YouTuber, it seems like, has it. So I'm pretty much up on the chopping block, it seems like. But like I said during the video, you know, like, everyone is different. Like, go to a specialist if you really want to know if you have ADHD. And, like, I might, in the future, I might not, and I might talk about it. Who knows? Like, the future is definitely out there for someone greater than me to write it, you know? But on to this video, man, it was really cool. Like I said, it was very informative, and like talking about, like, her experience, like, with the doctor, for example. Like, that doctor seemed like he really wanted to help, and that's really cool to, like, have that, like, find someone, like, especially a specialist, you know, that, like, seems like they really want to help. And I know that seems like a little weird, but, like, I've had experiences in the past where, like, the doctors do not care. Like, I've had a pregnant woman's prescription one time, you know? So, like, I've had different experiences with doctors, but, like, it's just, it's cool, you know, like, to have that one-on-one connection, it seems like. And, like, her experience as a whole, like I stated at the very beginning of this video, you know, like, the intro, like, her personal stuff seems like very enjoyable videos, you know? Like, it leads to very enjoyable videos, I should say. So, all in all, fantastic work, you know? And, like, the animation quality, like, all of the stuff I talk about previously, you know, it's still there, man. It's still, like, flourishing in the up and foremost, you know? It's just really awesome stuff. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Leave a like down below, subscribe, or ring the bell, become a member. You get videos a day early, and check out the merch. So with that said, I have been Master Zero. Y'all guys have been fantastic, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Later days.